Y'all, story time on how I became a respiratory therapist. I just finished my breakfast, so it's a little story time in my hole. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of motivation because all the struggles that I went through during the respiratory program and still came out on top and graduated. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. So, this is my little story. If you're wanting to go to school, but you don't know how you're going to do it, I promise you, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Rewind to 2018 of when I started the respiratory program. I did not get financial aid, so I had to pay for the program along with my bills because I didn't live with my parents. So I was actually working at the hospital as a phlebotomist in the lab. My school layout was I would go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then be out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the first year of school was just strictly school, and then the second year was set up for clinicals and then just one class. So my first year, I would go to school Monday through Thursday. I would work the 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. shift at the hospital. I wouldn't do it every day, but most days I did it. And then on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would work the 12 p.m. to the 12 a.m. shift. So I did that while I was in the program. And in September of 2018, I got engaged. Super excited about that, to my high school sweetheart. But then in October of 2018, tragedy struck my family. My dad was killed in an accident. So I was very depressed. I had to get pulled out of bed. It was horrible. Going back to school, I remember being in a daze and thinking, why am I here? Because my dad's not going to see me graduate. But thankfully I stayed, because just 2 weeks after that, I found out I was pregnant. And that was honestly God sent, because I really needed my baby to pull me out of that deep depression and just kind of keep me going and keep my eye on the goal of graduating respiratory. I was set to have my baby July 19th was his due date, and honestly that just, how did I get so lucky? I don't know, because the way my school was set up, my third semester was May, and then the last day was July 18th. So I took my final July 18th. I went home and I packed my bags, and my husband and I went to the hospital, and we had our baby July 18th of 2019. Like how does that even happen? I ended up having a C-section, so I had 2 weeks to recover, and thankfully my recovery was not bad for my first baby. And my clinical site that I started in August was only 45 minutes from my house, so my baby was able to stay at the house with my sister while I did my 12-hour shifts Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I did that for 6 weeks, and then went to school on Thursdays, and it just worked out good, thankfully. But then the next 12 weeks of clinicals was 2.5 hours away from my house. But again, God sent. My sister, my twin sister, lived 45 minutes from that hospital, and she was a stay-at-home mom. So I was able to drop my baby off, and she kept him during the day while I was at clinical, and then we'd stay the night with her. So my son and I were at her house Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we would come home on Thursdays. No, on Wednesdays afternoons, because I'd be at school on Thursdays. But the way I did it when I was at her house, because it was just me, my fiance wasn't able to come, I literally would wake up at 4:45, feed the baby, get the baby dressed and changed, and then pass him over to my sister, and then I would drive to my clinical site. I wouldn't get back to her house until 7:30, 8 o'clock. I would make sure the baby was bathed, myself fed the baby, and then we would get in bed. And I was still waking up every 2 hours to give him a bottle. So I didn't get much sleep, and then I would wake up at 4:30 and repeat. So we did that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'd go home on Wednesdays. And then my husband, well, my fiance, would help me on Wednesday nights. And then Thursday I was at school, and then I ended up starting to stay home more on the weekends because my husband kind of took over the load of the bills. And then after my dad died, I was able to get financial aid. So that thankfully was a blessing. So that was, we did all of that. And then also I planned a wedding, and my husband and I had like a small little wedding on Thanksgiving break of 2019. So I took my finals, and then I went to my rehearsal dinner, and we got married the first day out of Thanksgiving. So we had that 1 week, and then I went back to school. and I had 6 more weeks in the Jackson area because I did 12 weeks total. And then COVID happened, and I was able to do clinicals up until March of 2020. I was set to graduate May of 2020. The shutdown happened. I thankfully was able to finish all my schooling online, and I graduated May of 2020. So if I can go through all of that and still have my eye on the goal and study and do all my homework with all that happening in my life, I promise you anyone can do it. I lived off those bank energy drinks. I still to this day don't know how I did all of that with no sleep. I swear, I rarely slept, but I pushed through and I did it. So if you don't think you can do it, I promise you, you can do it if you just set your mind to it. So I hope everyone has a great day. And there's my story of how I became a respiratory therapist and my time in the program. Bye.